Hi guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Ndegwa. I'm a fashion designer amongst many other things, and this channel is about fashion, style and everything that makes life in general. So consider subscribing. We talk about everything. So today I come bearing gifts. I am collaborating with Dorina, but I'm going to leave her to introduce herself. This was her whole idea, so I'm really excited about this video.
Hey everyone, thank you Liz subscribers for having me here today. My name is Dorina and I'm a healing writing coach, a poet, a published poet and a writer, and basically I do and deal with things everything that has to do with writing. And I have a Facebook page, and every 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I appear. So this, as February was the month of love, or is the month of love, whenever you're watching this, we decided to team up and talk about how we feel about love.
It was her idea.
How we feel about love and how it's been affecting our lives and other people's lives, because like my brand is the Monversation, and we have all types of conversations under the sun that deal with mindfulness, basically about you as a person, about the people around you, and just how to heal the world and make it a better place. Yeah. I know maybe that sounded a little bit woo-woo, but it's all about being self-aware and navigating through life in a way where you just feel uninhibited, because we have a lot of fear. So this was my way of trying to debunk some things about love and what we think about it, and have a conversation. And that's why it was called Monversation, because it's a conversation with ourselves and with others. Because we or our could be, or my conversation could also be other people's conversation, because maybe you're having it at home or you're thinking it in your mind, but you've not really verbalized it. So Liz was kind enough to have me on her channel today. So we'll just get into this. We'll get into the discussion, and I'll just be asked. So it'll just be like a Q&A. I'll ask a few questions, and then we'll discuss some aspects as well. So thank you for having me.
And I'm going to put her links down below. Videos and a channel and her books and all that good stuff, and you are going to love it.
I'm so excited.
And if you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and
subscribe.
Also put your comments down below. Let's have this conversation. Tell us what you think about love, what you think about self-love even, yeah? And please focus on self-love.
Yeah, and don't forget to press on the bell so that you can receive
notification ding 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 when new videos are coming out.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay. Being this is the month of love, could you tell us, being a mother, because in my opinion I feel that when people become mothers, or women rather, there's an aspect of love that happens that people say is indescribable. And it kind of expounds your knowledge of love being unconditional. Could you tell us a little bit about that in the aspect of being a mother?
Yes, that love is truly unconditional, but it's not all the time that you feel loving. It's also a duty. So yeah, when I think about being a mother, yes, that love is truly unconditional. I think what it teaches you is mainly how to become a mother to the rest of the world. It allows you to be a lot more compassionate and a lot more mindful of the rest of the world and people in general. So naturally you become kinder towards humanity. That's what motherhood does to you. You become more aware. Naturally, before you have children, it's all about you and the things you want in life. But once you have a child, you realize that everyone is a child. Everyone needs love, and you can now you become more aware of people's pains, and yeah, you're naturally a lot more compassionate. And I think that's why we need more women leaders. I had to put that one there. Because we are a lot more compassionate, and we look at the world as a whole, you know. we naturally would not solve problems with wars, because we feel the pain of, you know, having a child, bearing a child. It's painful, and it connects you to the rest of humanity. So yes, it's the most amazing. I think the purpose of parenthood or being a mother is to connect you to the whole, to the world as a whole. Mm-hmm. So all mothers are connected to everything. That's why you see, I see it. I know when a person is a mother, I can see it. I can see it in I can feel it in their energy. You see how they care, how they love, how they look at people, how they look at someone when they're hurt. They feel the pain. So mothers feel the pain of the world, and they carry the burdens of the world. And yeah.
So when it comes to love, growing up, what was your understanding of love?
My understanding of love, wow, very interesting. I think my understanding of love had phases. It's like there was, when you're younger and it's happy-go-lucky, and then when you become a teenager and then you understand a different kind of love, where you have to need love from other people, that love that you have is not sufficient, and now you need to go out there and look for somebody to love you, or you need other people to love you and accept you. And then when you become a grown-up, and then it becomes actually a struggle, you know. When you're entering the stage of now understanding yourself, or as a young adult, you feel that, okay, I can do this is easy. You just meet somebody that you love, and then happily ever after, you know. Like, I read a lot of Cinderella books, so I knew a thing or two about love and Prince Charming. But as you grow, it becomes more complex, because now it becomes about questioning yourself about, so what is love? Because then you start looking for it and you never find it. You do find it, but it's like, you know, once you are trying to, I think because we try to hold on to it, it's like we're trying, it's not tangible, but we kind of, in our mind, conceptually, we think that it is tangible. Like, it's something that you need to hold on to. It's something that I need to have and to hold. And so I think that's kind of the mistake. So as a grown-up, for me, it has become more about questioning what is love and how do I need to love, instead of thinking that love is this feeling or something. So love becomes a lot more complex if you don't kind of hold on to it when you're younger. If you keep having to maybe move away from home or go somewhere else, it even becomes a risk to find love. It's like, it's risky, you never know. I think that it's the question in so many people's minds, like, will I ever find love? But that now leads us back to what love really is, because it is that you had in the beginning, before you discovered that you needed to go out there and get love. So for me, love always takes me back to self-love. You know, it has taken me back to self-love, because that's where I feel that I can now, you know, it doesn't exist on the outside of me, you know, because self-love has become my navigator. Self-love is your navigator. It helps you navigate through the world in a way that it will help you make decisions. It will help you leave toxic situations. It will help you understand what you can and cannot tolerate. So self-love has become the most important as I grow. So that is what I'm focusing on right now, because it is what I'm able to extend to other people. Love is just an extension of yourself to other people. You extend the love you have in yourself to other people. So if you don't have any, and if you don't focus on building that self-confidence and self-love, then you really have nothing to give. You can't give to anybody. You can't give to your children. You can't give to other people, to a partner, or to the rest of the world if you don't have it, you know. And that takes me back to another verse, a verse in the Bible that says, love your neighbor as yourself. The key word there is not neighbor, it's actually self. It is from self that the love is coming from, that you're extending to your neighbor, right? So that for me now has become the most important love, because once I focus on because self-love helps you be healthy, care about your health, all those things, and then that you are giving from that overflow, you know, you fill your cup and then you give everybody else from the overflow, so that you will always have something for yourself. So self-love basically has become my focus now. I'm not focusing on getting love from somewhere else or waiting for somebody to come and rescue me and love me. I am extending that love to myself.
Yeah, and starting with you.
Exactly.
Starting with you
It starts with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, because this whole month I've been talking about self-love, and I talked about forgiveness and friendship, which is also important in love, and also communication, because when it comes to love and friendship and all the things that we experience as human beings in our adult lives, or whichever stage of life you are in, it involves a lot of telling yourself truths, or trying to listen to your truths about what it is that you desire for yourself, and that includes love. I was asking you, what did you feel that love was when you were growing up? What did you see it was? Because the thing is, like, most of the things that we know about love are things that we have seen, because as children growing up, we watch and we see what others or people around us do, and sometimes you can substitute its functionality for love, when in reality it's not really what it is. Because and that's why I was asking about motherhood too, because they say that somehow that's when people get it. Finally, they understand.
Yeah.
They understand what their parents were telling them, or their mom, when they said that we love you so much, you know. And even I've had parents tell their kids that even if you're made to your mind or to people, they might think that you're a failure, but maybe you're our failure anyway, and we will still love you the same. Maybe not what we expected of you, but you know. And I find that very unconditional, because sometimes we relate to love in a conditional way, where if you didn't do this for me, then you do not love me. When sometimes some people are in a position where they don't have the capacity to do certain things, because A, they were not taught, B, it hasn't been verbalized, because that's why communication is very important. And when we've been talking about love this month, it's been about love for self too. And that's why if you go to my YouTube channel, you will find there's a playlist of my poetry. It's called Monversation Book, and you'll find letters to self-love. So it's a poem that I actually wrote. I was inspired by it was inspired by a friend of mine, actually, because I felt, and just a collection of women that I knew in my life who I felt was selling themselves short. So because the poem starts with when love is not enough, you know, the way we treat ourselves, so rough, you know. And it is so true, because that is when you do not understand your worth, you don't value yourself. And that's why the poem is about, it basically talks about that. It also talks about, you know, the way some of us like are trying to lose weight, and we just, and then other people are giving us advice and we don't want to listen to it, and then we realize that we are the problem. So it's a journey of a self-discovery and love, and I hope you can go check that out. at the end of this so that you can hear it. Let's go back to self-love a little bit. Is there something that you feel is really important, like when it comes to do you think self-care is one thing?
Self-love, yeah. I think the most important thing to consider, it sounds very selfish naturally when, we talk about self-love and, because we have been conditioned and socialized to think of other people before ourselves, and naturally as African women, we are conditioned to give and give without even expecting to receive anything. So I wanted to touch on how, why self-love is important is because it influences the way you make decisions, yeah? So the value that you have for yourself is what allows for you to understand life in general and to be, like I said earlier, to navigate through life, because that's where you can know, you understand when people are being toxic, you understand when people are being unkind, you understand when to leave a situation, you understand when to stay, and when, naturally things don't change, but we as women always tend to stay in a situation way too long, and that's because our value naturally we put in other people. We naturally remove ourselves from the whole equation, and now we sit on the outside of a situation, and then we just now focus on allowing other people, to let other people until other people are comfortable enough. When you want to leave a situation, you always think about the other person. I want to leave when they're comfortable. So now, you made a very important point there, and the key word there is expectation, okay? So the heart center, naturally, sometimes what we think is a feeling, like a natural feeling connection. Sometimes it's illusions and expectations, because we have been taught to build a person in our minds. Naturally, I do that personally. When I meet a person, I expect them to be exactly what I want, and I expect that it's a prayer answered, basically. We have to check ourselves and see, is it expectation or is it heart? Yeah? Yeah, we need to know the difference between expectation and heart. So is it my heart that is telling me? Is it genuine? Is it this, or is it my dreamy self that is going out there and becoming extra and planning everything in my head, because we do that a lot. So expectation is what breaks everything, is what is naturally, I heard someone once say that you broke my expectation, not my heart. So sometimes...
Is that a tweetable?
That's a tweetable moment. So yeah, so you broke my expectation, not my heart. And it's true, I've come to think of it, and I think, why are we so disappointed, naturally, when something doesn't turn out to be what we wanted it to be? Anything, I'm not even here talking about relationships or anything. Naturally, our disappointment comes from expectations. If I promise you, I'm like, I'll take you to Paris, and I tell you it's the most beautiful city, and you're gonna find, so you will have expectations. You will start building your own image of what Paris could be like, and it might not meet your expectations. So expectation is what sometimes we think is the heart, is the feelings, is like, oh, but I'm feeling this way. It's what you're building in your head. We start building. It's an illusion of what you think a person is, or what you think something is. So you need to try and check yourself and see, is this expectation illusion, or is this my heart? Is this genuine? Is this a heart's desire? Because there's a difference between a heart's desire and expectations and your imagination of what you've always dreamt of, and so check yourself and see, so that's where you can now draw the line. You try, we need to check ourselves. because we have been, like now, more than ever, you know, we are exposed to what other people have, you know, and we are being told what love looks like.